Mindset.
Yes.
Welcome to Wellness Warriors, a podcast addressing the root causes of illness and their natural solutions. And now your hosts of Wellness Warriors, Dr. Justin Lane and Michele Schroeder.
Well, hello, Dr. Lane.
Hey, Michael. How you doing?
Great. Should we say hi to Michele?
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, Michele. How's it
Hi,
going?
Michael. Hi, Justin.
What's up?
I didn't see you sitting there. No. Good to have you guys here today. So I know today's topic is we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, gut health, which is
Very near and dear to your heart.
very near and dear to my heart. I know there's a lot of people that maybe having digestive problems or their gut health is not where it should be, but they may not know it. I mean, there could
Possibly.
be all kinds of things going on like insomnia and headaches and skin problems and depression and, oh, my hormones are out of whack. I mean, you never really know. So tell me how the gut and the immune system are connected. Who wants to go first?
Oh boy, that's a big one. But yeah, so your second brain is in your gut. Your enteric nervous system has as many neural pathways in that almost as the brain. So the gut is a huge source of where we absorb our nutrients, where we digest, and where we make our immune molecules, let's call them, to support our immune system. So it's really important. That's why we talk so much about food as medicine. Even I think it was Hippocrates back in the Greek days said, all in all starts in the gut, and it holds as much true today as it did 3,000 years ago or 4,000, however long it was. So yeah, it begins and ends in the gut, and a lot of what's happening, with our hormones is affected by our gut health. We mentioned one of the core four is your gut health, and your hormones are made in your digestive tract. So if your digestion is not healthy, it's going to be harder to have healthy hormone balance and immune function and really get the nutrients you need from the food.
Oh,
Yeah, and just
Sure.
so you know, when we're talking about gut health, we're generally referring to the small intestine and the large intestine, but we have a whole digestive tract that starts right from the minute you smell food or see food, and any part of that through your mouth, the saliva, down through into your gut is all affected if there are things that go wrong. So you want to pay attention to everything from north to south when it comes to your gut health.
Mouth to anus. Yep, basically. Yep.
Yep.
wow. So I understand it's also connected to my immune system, like autoimmune disease, something like that.
70% of your cells for your immune system are in your gut.
And your digestion. Yep.
Wow. That's
So if you have a poor functioning gut, you can have a very poor functioning immune system.
And most people do.
Unfortunately, we live in a world that is messing with our guts really bad.
yeah.
So our immune system is failing. And I was just thinking about this the other day. It seems to me, and I might just be imagining this, but it feels like to me that more people who are having surgery end up with an infection than it seemed like they were having in the past. And it seems like people are just having beaten down immune systems that are creating an inability to fight off pathogens and other problems that they can potentially have, and it just feels like it's affecting a lot of people. Would you agree? Like, is that
I
more
think
common?
our food system's toxic, and our immune systems are weakened, so we're getting weaker as the years go on in that respect. So yeah, I see it a lot. There's a lot of just poor health, and it really starts with our fork at the end of the day.
Yeah. I'm hoping that this new Make America Healthy wave that seems to be coming into the market really takes hold and does some good things, like getting rid of these food dyes and at least raising awareness that some of the stuff, actually most of the stuff that we're eating is poison or toxic. I know when we go shopping, my wife picks up every single thing and looks at it and goes, oh, this has canola oil and palm oil and this oil and aluminum sulfate, dextromide, palotherin, whatever.
Stuff you can't announce. You don't
Carrageenan,
Carrageenan,
all
yeah.
this stuff that really impacts your ability to digest, and it just even some sugar alcohols So you might think, well, I'm going to balance my blood sugar. I'm going to go eat sugar alcohols instead. And sometimes those are harder to digest because the molecules are bigger and you can't break them down, and it can really affect your gut health.
Yeah, I've noticed that since I've stopped eating those things, my gut health is better. I have better digestion. I'm a more of a regular kind of guy, if you get my drift, and all those types of things. I remember in the olden days, so I can share a quick story with you, when my mom was younger, and she used to watch this guy on TV, Jack LaLanne.
Yeah, I
You
remember Jack LaLanne.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna clue you in. So
Yeah.
Jack LaLanne was the coolest guy. Him and his dog.
50s and 60s.
And she watched him on TV, and then there was a Jack LaLanne Fitness Center down the street. And
Check him out on YouTube. I'm sure he's got videos on there.
Oh my God, the guy was amazing. And I think when he was like 95, he not only swam from San Francisco to Alcatraz, but towed like 10 boats behind him.
Oh, I
That's
think
amazing.
I do know about that. Yeah.
So he's amazing. And one of the things that I've still remembered that my mom taught me from watching Jack LaLanne was this: if it comes in a box, don't eat it. Now, that was his simple rule. If it comes in a box, don't eat it. Eat fresh fruits, vegetables, this, and this. So, and I see us now, we're eating all of this stuff in our food supply, and it's killing us.
Yeah.
And
Quite literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the ultra processed foods and all the sugars and all the added chemicals and antibiotics and all
And
that.
the overeating and the eating too often. Sometimes if you eat all day long grazing, your gut health will suffer because it doesn't have time to do the proper rotation of digestion. And yeah, we have food on every corner. We have smells in the air everywhere, and sometimes we just eat way too often, way too much.
Can it affect our ability to absorb the nutrients? So we might be eating an apple, which is good, but because we've eaten all this other junk beforehand, it's affected our ability to absorb and metabolize the good stuff.
Yeah, like in your small intestine, you have little villi. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be pronounced, but that's how I pronounce them. And they're little hair-like things like this, and they give you a lot more absorption space. It's kind of like if I had my hand and the villi were my fingers, and all this space now becomes absorption space rather than just this. But if they get broken off and they're no longer there, then you don't have nearly as much absorption space, and it really takes down the amount of nutrients you can bring into your body.
I would say, in my experience, a lot of people don't absorb. It's not what you're eating, it's what you're absorbing. So you can eat the great food, you can have the best supplements. If you don't absorb it, it's game over. I mean, we got to start with absorption. And a lot of folks don't absorb for a lot of reasons. It could be an infection. We see that a lot. Something we call intestinal permeability. Maybe a colloquial name is leaky gut, which is common. And that's, a barrier system that we have that's in our stomach and through our intestinal tract. And it's held together by these protein bonds, and they breach. They open up, and they basically breach right into the bloodstream. So sometimes people eat food, they don't break it down properly. It enters into the bloodstream, and then it creates an immune response. So people start feeling bloated, gassy, or they have these food reactions. They're unpredictable, or they're happening more and more often, or you're feeling it swelling throughout your body, or body swelling. So it manifests different ways. Those are common symptoms of malabsorption. You ate a blueberry today, no problem. You eat the same blueberry tomorrow, and all of a sudden your body freaks out.
Yeah.
So it becomes an immunological response. That's leaky gut in particular.
Yeah, and basically it's kind of like if you have a piece of food that's not 100% broken down, and now it sneaks into the bloodstream. Now, because it got out of that permeability gut, basically the immune system says, "Hey, we got a pathogen. Let's go get this thing."
Creates a lot of inflammation.
Yeah, and unfortunately, with autoimmunity, when it does that, it sometimes starts to recognize different proteins, and you may have similar proteins in your body tissues. And so now that it's recognized that, your adaptive immune system thinks that it needs to attack other things that are not pathogens. So it's important to clean up the gut so that you don't end up with immune system issues.
So how can I increase my absorption? Do I drink more water? Do I eat more fiber? What do I do?
think if you suspect that you're not absorbing, that's the first step, is to get tested. We usually start with blood work. We can tell in blood work usually if there's an issue, and also with symptoms that you're having. If we need to do more testing, we will. Sometimes we'll do that because we need to figure out, is it an infection that's causing the leaky gut? Leaky gut itself can create an infection, a bacterial infection called endotoxemia. That can accompany that, but there could be other infections going on simultaneously or mimicking the symptoms of that. So the first thing is to get evaluated, but know what your symptoms are. Is it certain foods that you're eating where you're noticing you're not feeling well? Is it all food? Is it certain food groups? What are the symptoms? And then that's the first thing to address, because anything after that is going to get absorbed. We just need to figure out if that's the starting point.
Can you explain in layman's term what this leaky gut is?
Yeah.
Because I have a mental picture of a gut actually leaking.
Yeah.
I know that's
it's
wrong.
Probably a better name. That's what I call an intestinal permeability. But as Michele said, we have a lining. It's a barrier system. It's a protective barrier. And we have these not only in the digestive tract, but around our brain. We have a blood-brain barrier. So it's a vascular ring of blood that kind of surrounds our skull. It protects us from bacteria, harmful bacteria and viruses, things to get into our brain, our cortex. Our lungs and our skin are also a barrier. So we have barriers throughout the body, but the ones that are connected are the gut and the brain in this context. And so what happens is that it's a barrier that's really protecting the intestinal tract, and the bloodstream. And so what happens if you're eating the standard American diet, which we call the SAD diet with a frowny face, right? Which is really inflammatory. We eat too much sugar and gluten and dairy and soy and corn and those things. That starts to break down the barrier, right? Infections in the body can also break down the barrier. Hormone imbalances, all of them are needed to make and maintain this barrier system, this protective barrier. So whether you're autoimmune or you have infections or hormone imbalances or a poor diet
or too much stress, don't forget the
stress.
stress.
Yeah, stress, right? Stress is that term we call nervous stomach, is a stress response in the gut. And so all of these things can assault the lining of the gut, the barrier system, and then eventually it breaches. It's like a dam that can't take it anymore, and it breaches, and it opens up into the bloodstream. And then that's what creates all these other symptoms.
Okay, so basically it's like a force field that's being attacked by Klingons.
There you go.
Who reach it, and then the Starship Enterprise
That's right.
is gone. So,
Yeah.
Okay, now again, I'm going to
It's your shield, yeah.
It's a force field. It's a
Right.
shield.
Yeah.
It shields up.
And it's a very, very thin shield, and so it can be damaged quite easily. However, the good news is
also
it can
fixable.
be fixed.
Yes.
It can be fixed fairly easily.
Well, Michele, how can we fix this thing?
Yeah. So there are some supplementation that we offer people to help repair the gut lining. But also, again, we're going to go back to food.
Yeah.
And just making sure that we're eating very well.
Stop the poisoning.
Yes,
That's
stop
first
the
thing.
poisoning, reduce the inflammation, because inflammation is a big part of this. So we want to eat anti-inflammatory diet, and that has a lot of different ways of doing that. You can do a lot of different types of diet and have it be anti-inflammatory, but whole real foods.
Yep.
But, get rid of that crap we talked about earlier.
Yeah, don't eat it out of the box.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And then, like as Michele said, there's supplements that we can use to heal the barrier system.
Mm-hmm.
And once that's healed, then you're absorbing again, and you're feeling better usually.
Yep.
So will fiber help to repair that?
Fiber? Well, we like fiber for a lot of reasons. Hopefully you're eating vegetables. That's your fiber, so you're getting nutrients, as many as you can from that. And it helps with your bowel movements. It helps build bulk in the stool. Food is medicine in that respect, but there's certain targeted nutrients that we need to actually repair the barrier. Glutamine is one of those things. Mm-hmm. It's basically a vitamin, you could say, that starts to heal those tight junctions so they form again. That's what repairs the barrier system.
What's a food I can eat that has glutamine in it?
Bone broth is a great one. Especially homemade bone broth. Oh my God, so good. If you get organic bones and make your own bone broth, you can buy it also pre-made. That has glutamine in it naturally. I'm sure there's other foods, so it's the one that came to my mind.
So when I go to the store and I'm buying a steak and I see they've got the bone marrow things next to it, will that do the same thing?
Yeah, if you boil them up. Yeah, you prepare the bone broth. It's sort of an event at our house.
Really?
Yeah, it takes a while.
You
I
boil
like
'em
to
up.
put my slow cooker out on the patio because I think it kind of stinks. but but you let them simmer for a long time.
Define long time. Hours?
Hours.
Yeah, several hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go 12 or more hours.
Really?
Or you can buy it pre-made. They have it pre-made. They have powders now. You can, fast track it that way.
You can even have bone broth smoothies if you want.
Wow.
They have powders that are pretty decent.
So I could brew that up while I've thrown my brisket on the Traeger, which takes about 12 hours, and it'll all be done at the same time.
There you
Yeah,
go. There you go.
You saved my life.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, in addition to the lousy food that most of us eat, what are some other contributing factors? Like stress, and I know a couple podcasts ago we talked about everything in the air. I mean, there's so much
Toxins.
crap going on in the air. Does that also contribute to this stuff?
Definitely. I think also to underlying health conditions. So, for example, we work with a lot of folks who have thyroid problems. And when you have thyroid problems, you tend to be constipated, or you tend to go back and forth, right? But constipation's common. So if you have other health conditions, it can just force multiply the damage on the gut. So if someone's not moving their bowels consistently, I think the average American, they say every 3 or 4 days is the average, which we want to be having multiple bowel movements a day. That's ideal.
Normal.
That means you're moving things out of the body. But if you're constipated, for example, we'll use a thyroid as an example. Some people, folks who don't have a high functioning thyroid tend to be constipated, or folks who have a history of traumatic brain injury or concussions where they damage their vagus nerve, which connects the brain to the gut. They're more prone to certain types of gut infections because things aren't moving. If things aren't moving down, then things tend to move up. And so one infection we see a lot is called SIBO. It stands for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And normally our probiotic bacteria are in our colon. That's where they live, except when the bowels aren't moving, they start to migrate up the digestive tract. And they hang out under our stomach. And so when you eat a carb or a starch or a sugar, that they eat too, and they expand, right? And you get bloated.
They let off a gas.
They let off a gas, hydrogen or methane or both. And what happens is your stomach now valve is left open, and sometimes people get acid reflux or they get a lot of gas or bloating in response to those foods. That's just one example. So things that aren't moving south move north, and they can create other problems. Or a poor diet. We see this all the time. Folks just eat, too much sugar, and they develop a fungal infection, candida as an example, which can have similar symptoms to SIBO. So it can be confusing because you're like, I just don't feel good. And I eat this and I feel like that, or I eat this and I feel like that. And so
then they develop food sensitivities as time goes on.
right. So there's the whole cascading effect that can happen when the digestion isn't healthy.
So with the SIBO thing, which is like a fungus, or
SIBO is a bacteria. It's a bacterial infection. It's a chronic infection.
so when I eat, they eat. So basically, there's a party going on inside of me.
Yeah,
These guys are having a buffet.
exactly.
That's not good.
No.
I'm not excited about that.
But it's for that infection, it's that food group. So it's carbs, starches, and sugars. It's not protein. People eat protein. So what do people do? They stop eating carbs, starches, and sugars, and they switch to foods that make them feel better. That's part of the actual treatment for SIBO, but there's more to the story than that. So
Yeah,
Well-
you can't heal SIBO with diet alone. There are antimicrobials and things you need to do in addition to that. So you don't ever want to have to manage your health by only eating 5 foods. And I've seen that people coming in and all
That's a
they can
good point.
tolerate is the same five foods.
yeah, and if you're out there and you're saying I can only eat these 5 foods, let's talk, because that's a sign that there's something wrong there in the GI tract. We should
You should be able to eat a variety of foods and do it healthfully. And in fact, you need to be able to eat a variety of foods because that's where you get good nutrition. The more variety that you have in your diet, the better health you're going to have. And so one of the first things to do is if you can't, then you need to come see us and get SIBO cleared up if that's it, or candida or whatever it is.
So some of the takeaways from today are: we need to manage our gut health. We need to eat right, and with good food, not stuff that comes out of a box. Rewatch this podcast to figure out what all the symptoms are
manage your stress.
manage
Yeah.
your stress.
Right.
Get on YouTube and watch some old Jack LaLanne
Yeah.
TV shows. Do whatever Jack says to do, because my mom said so. We don't argue with her. And you should be able to eat a variety of foods, not just 5 things. I do know people like that. I can only eat these things, or else they get sick, and they become
Absolutely.
nauseous.
Yep.
And it's like they're no fun to go out with. It's like,
Yep.
see you later, Dave. So that's
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
So once again, if someone has some questions, they'd like to get a hold of you, how can they call you?
Yeah, so our number should be below. It's here local, 435-246-7642. And you can find us on the internet. We're elementalnaturalmedicine.com.
Okay.
And you can call us there and check us out.
Cool. Michelle?
KMichelleSchroeder.com. K as in Karen. Michelle with 1 L.
Yeah.
Yep. And you can book a session for free on my website.
.com.
Yep. And you can also access all my podcasts there.
Yes, absolutely. So, Wellness Warriors, thank you so very much for being here today. I learned a lot. I'm sure everybody here's learned a lot too. So
Yeah,
we'll see you guys again next time with another exciting adventure in the world of the Wellness Warriors.
This has been Wellness Warriors, giving people the knowledge to have a healthy and vibrant life. For more information, elementalnaturalmedicine.com and KMichelleSchroeder.com. We invite you to join us next time for another edition of Wellness Warriors.